Sherlock and Molly, I Need You Now by Ashley Epley. It is 1:15 in the morning. Sherlock Holmes could not sleep, even though he was currently residing with Molly Hopper, who was working at St. Bartholomew's Hospital. Since he couldn't sleep, he wandered about to find his violin. He wanted to play something new and alternative, so he turned on the radio and heard this beautiful song called I Need You Now by Chris Mann, a cover done by Lady Antebellum. As he listened to the song, he was picturing himself playing along with it and at the same time drinking whiskey. Then he found himself pacing around Molly's residence. As he was bored, he found himself to Molly's room. Then he pictured her crying alone during the times that he humiliated her, and at the times she would feel giddy over the fact that he would compliment her on the slightest thing. And maybe he would picture her writing in her diary. As he chuckled about that wondering fact, he scratched his head and pondered why on earth would she write about him? But then again, he couldn't blame Molly. After all, he was brilliant and a genius. But then all that made him wonder even more and think about Molly. So he picked up his untraceable phone to call up Molly. Molly was working on a current scientific experiment, and she was relieved that she could get out of the house. She was tired of Sherlock Holmes complaining and nitpicking over the fact what she was doing wrong, and she was happy that one day she would be out and free from Sherlock Holmes. Then she saw his name on her phone and the following text that said, "Thinking of you. Are you thinking of me? I was curious as when you'd be home, pondering alone, S.H." He was thinking of her? Sherlock Holmes was thinking of her? She couldn't believe it. Is Sherlock losing his mind? Molly wondered. Well, maybe he was being cooped up in her house too long. I mean, it's been 3 months since he had human interaction. Well, maybe he was just missing her. And it was sweet that Molly knew that, since after all it was coming from Sherlock. So, taken back, she thought of him and thought, why not text back? S.H. Be home when I'm good and ready to come home. M.H. Sherlock could read Molly's mind like a book. After years of working with her, he indicated that the smiley face acknowledged in Molly's text that she was indeed thinking of him. And over the years, he thought, that woman. Then he was reflecting on the moments that he and Molly shared. The time that he told her that he needed her, and that she was the only one that she could trust. In the light of this realization, he couldn't wait for Molly any longer to return home. So, taking the initiative and the necessary risk, he grabbed his jacket, wrapped his scarf around his neck through his mouth. He went to see Molly Hopper. Molly was just about to head out of the hospital, turning off the lights of her lab, ready to lock up. Then she was in the mindset of getting home to relax, hoping that Sherlock would not nag the heck out of her. But she didn't expect much. After all, he was Sherlock Holmes. Then, after that thought, she was stunned to see Sherlock Holmes standing in front of her door of her lab, waiting for her. And she was stunned as these words came out of her mouth. "Molly Hopper, you are a magnificent woman. Don't you know that?" He turned toward her slowly as he come towards her. Molly Hopper, still stunned, had nothing to say except, "Sherlock, why are you doing this to me? All of a sudden, after I be so nice to you, you notice me? You have to get out of here. I can't take this." Molly pushed him to leave, but Sherlock wouldn't have it and would not leave as he asked, Why do I keep thinking about you?" Molly stopped him, pulling him away. "What? I don't know." Studd had no words. "Why are you saying this to me now, Sherlock?" Sherlock simply answered, "Just because I need you now." They couldn't contain his urge any longer as he kissed her, embraced her with his arms, and whispered again, "I just need you now."